Can of Worms, a Saturday premiere of a Disney Channel original movie.
Please tell me I am not the only person that remembers this. This movie was insane. Let's find out why, because it's literally been probably 10 years since I've seen this movie. Let's jump in. So we open to the panic-stricken Mike Pillsbury. Really makes me want some cookies right now. Mike is plugging in a satellite to try to transmit a message to someone. The reason is actually really sad.
I'm being held against my will. My potential to realize a happy and fulfilled life nullified by the ignorant and cruel indigenous population of Earth.
That's pretty sad!
Those are my garbage people. We're gonna have to give it a second. The satellite beams into space in an oh-so realistic way. And then boom, we cut to 2 weeks earlier. Mike is sharing his stories with his friend's little brother Jay, and we learn that Mike is an artist, and he likes to draw, he's got a creative imagination, and he's created this entire story of a kid that found out that he was a part of an alien race.
He'll never really feel at home. He'll never feel like he belongs.
Pillsbury Dork Boy. So Pillsbury can't say this. Pillsbury Dork Boy over here thinks that he doesn't fit in and wants to just blast off into space then. Mike gets destroyed in his football game the next day.
He's down at the 10.
And having a hallucination that there's an alien that's trying to take his brain or something right before he comes to.
No! Don't let them get me! Oh, they want my brain!
And he sees his team.
How's he doing? Is he gonna be all right? Okay, let's go.
And his family. Well, his team clearly doesn't give a shit. They're just like, oh, you're alive? Cool. And his family doesn't really care either.
He's not dead. Are you, son? No, you're not. And you will learn from your mistakes. Good luck, son. We love you.
They left their son, possibly concussed, laying on the ground in the rain. Good parenting in the 90s. Next day, Mike is working on his satellite, gets interrupted, and decides to grab some breakfast. Which leads us to the first scene where Mike just spills a bunch of words out that are big so people think he's smart.
Bio-service routine.
Bio-service routine is nothing more than an interrupt handler.
Are you sure?
Does a tesseract exist in 4 dimensions?
Fucking what? Oh, and then this shit happens with his dad.
TNT, and how are we today?
Oh, sorry. I needed the extra RAM for a little programming project. I'm using this new graphics card that I tweaked a bit, and now it just eats up memory like a gulper eel.
Huh? Mike's dad tries to cheer him up about the football game and instead gives him like really toxic advice.
I just don't think it's...
No buts about it. Anything, Mike. That's the word for the day.
Then we have this really weird like digital Wild Western standoff between Scott and Mike in the computer lab.
Yes! Do it, Mike. Make him suffer.
He puts the floppy disk into the computer and harasses the teacher via the guise of the principal. So she leaves the classroom and then he pushes this onto the computers. Of course, the pig turns around and has none other than Scott's face on it. Although it's totally unrealistic, I love this scene. It totally like screams 90s Disney. Scott gets home and all of a sudden the girl from his computer class, Caitlin, is waiting in his bedroom. She asks Mike to help with the Halloween dance. He explains that he's trying to zap messages into space. Hence the giant satellite we saw earlier. Mike and Caitlin start focusing on the dance, collecting all the electronics and decorations that they need for the gymnasium to make it look spooky. So after successfully setting up the gymnasium, Scott pops his head in trying to see if Caitlin wants to join them for dinner, while also throwing some major shade Mike's way. Caitlin didn't like that Scott was so mean to Mike. So they close up shop for the night and all is well. A couple hours go by and Scott and one of his cronies decide to inevitably sabotage the dance. How Well, we'll have to wait and see. Here comes the dance. We find Caitlin and Mike are getting ready to throw the party of the year. The dance starts, the music is bumping, people are dancing, mesmerized by Mike's spinning invention thingy-mabobber. Mike does some magic.
First came up with the idea that orange crepe paper just wouldn't make it.
And everyone is seemingly happy until Mike's worst nightmares come true. These little a-holes are willing to ruin the entire night for everyone, just for them to throw Mike under the bus. Chaos ensues. Mike's entire display is ruined, on fire actually. He's sprayed down with a fire extinguisher by a teacher because he tries to get in the way. So here we are, 2 weeks after the beginning of the story, and Mike is desperately asking to be taken home. He leaves the dance, runs home, activates the satellite, and this is where we started our movie. Now that we're all caught up, we'll find out that Mike's satellite actually explodes. After a lightning bolt comes down and strikes it. So thanks to the lightning that night, his satellite is pretty much beyond repair. Hey, I know I made fun of him, but if my school dance went that way, I would want to get the fuck off of the planet as soon as possible. So next morning, Mike's parents give him some bullcrap encouragement.
I want you to get right back up on that horse. Put on those pants, brush those teeth, go
That's
back
right.
to school.
That's it, hun.
Your varsity jacket awaits.
Absolutely.
He's just devastated because of the dance. Queen. Mike walks in the hallways on the first morning. Caitlin says some, what? Shit.
What?
Which honestly just pisses me off, because she knows that, like, Mike did nothing wrong. I thought you were better than this, Caitlin. Do better.
Do better.
After school, Mike takes a nap at the treehouse, only to be awakened by Barnabas.
I am Barnabas.
Talking alien dog who is supposed to have Mike's best interests at heart.
I represent a Galactarian organization. Disaster relief, rights violations, non-profit, of course.
Barnabas explains to Pillsbury that he opened a Stargate portal. It's like a portal in which he can travel interdimensionally, and that there's problems that could ensue from that.
How did you get down here?
Don't delay, my Pillsbury. Others from all over the galaxy are traveling through the gate to find you.
Anyway, he tries to warn Mike that he has to leave if he wants to leave the oppressive planet, as he has stated in his message out.
Off this planet?
That was your intention, wasn't it? When you sent the message?
You got it.
Of course.
I gotta go.
As he's studying and eating lunch, Mike is visited by another intergalactic traveler, one by the name of Bohm. This dude is fucking disgusting. I'm sorry, I said it. Nasty.
What are you?
Basically trying to get Mike to sell his soul so that he can represent him and take advantage of his refugee status once he leaves Earth.
You need my help, Mike Pillsbury, and I've come to handle your case.
Intense shit, Disney. Intense. Caitlin calls Mike, but the call's ruined by this disgusting little pile of radioactive waste, whatever he is.
I wanted to apologize. We need to lighten up.
We're
taking this too hard. I'm so sorry.
This scene feels like it may have let the puppeteer have a little bit too much creative freedom. The amount of times Mike says no, go ahead, to Caitlin over the phone to try to let her continue talking instead of just hanging up and calling her back is fucking hilarious.
Disgusting.
Mike?
I'm here.
Stop it.
What?
No, not you. Sorry, Oh, that's nauseating.
Mike, are you listening to me?
Sorry. Go on, Caitlin.
Forget I called!
You wrecked my phone call.
Call her back, man. This is not productive. Wreck my phone call. Ooh. Mike wards off the Bohm and tries to tell Nick, but he is not believing it.
A drain pipe. Yeah.
So that was a bust.
Okay, and we'll make some plans for what to do next weekend. If you happen to see Kathy, go ahead and call me, okay?
Is this a prequel for you?
Well, hello there. Who are you? Based on your vibe, student.
Mike Pillsbury, I don't mean to nag.
Oh, thank God. Barnabas. Barnabas harasses Mike about the fact that he didn't think anything through before he actually, made the call out to space.
You sent out a galactic-wide call for help without having thought it through.
I'm sorry. Kids feel desperate sometimes.
And he's worried about the Bohm. Bohm showing up is apparently a sign that the Thode is coming soon.
Mike Pillsbury, you have opened up a can of worms.
Essentially, what happened is by reaching out, Mike had signaled the galaxy that Earth had made significant advancements.
That's good.
That's bad. Because of what you've done, Earth no longer falls under the intergalactic protection for primitive life.
Again, some very intense shit. Jesus, Disney. I digress. Mike runs to Caitlin and asks for a second chance.
What could you possibly want?
A second chance.
But he gets interrupted yet again by another unwelcomed intergalactic guest.
How do you do? I would like to be your agent and represent you for all media throughout the galaxy, Mike Pillsbury.
This asshole freezes Caitlin and zaps himself and Mike across the street. This dude is impatient as hell.
Sorry I had to do that. I just love a captive audience. So, the story is classic. A young boy, he's carried to another world where he must start anew.
He basically wants to sell Mike as a TV show and take him light years away from Earth as a weekly series. My guy may be sprinkling pixie dust out of his eyes, but I think he might be snorting some of it too.
Well, if you feel that way about it.
Mike wards yet another alien off, and Caitlin can't find him once she wakes up because they were moved across the street.
Caitlin!
The suspense is killing me. Mike's family tries to convince him that he's human and that he's loved. Well, except for his little sister, Jill.
The day you were born, the hospital was inundated with ugly babies.
Jill.
They couldn't tell one from another.
Jill, please.
Nick tries to tell Mike that he's crazy. That's until the boys get an unwelcome visit from some other friends in the treehouse.
Have you heard anything I've said about the value of reality?
Excuse me. Have you thought about it?
After being overwhelmed with evidence, Nick realizes that Mike isn't crazy. So the boys hit the road. Mike keeps looking for Barnabas and begins to pack his bags so that he can leave Earth once he finds him.
Hold on, I can make a new life.
Come in.
Think this is yours?
Oh shit. Perfect timing. Mike gets his last words in, and Caitlin follows Nick back to the backyard to see what's going on. All of the aliens try to convince Mike and Nick to sign a contract, but not before Barnabas shows up.
Mike Pillsbury.
Barnabas!
Caitlin then shows up as well, right as the aliens are frightened and they start to leave the planet.
Time to go right now!
Never mind.
What?
Barnabas warns the kids that the Thode, an evil alien overlord, is coming and that they are going to be collecting people to analyze the human race. Nick's little brother Jay gets sucked into the portal after thinking that it was one of Mike's science projects, now that is kicking the whole team into high gear. While Mike builds a plan, they gather Scott to be a perfect sacrifice to the Thode. He dares Scott to do it, challenging his ego and forcing him to comply with the power of sheer fragile masculinity.
Because I dare you.
It's beautiful. Scott turns the corner and he realizes that this shit is absolutely real.
Uh-oh. There's a plan, Scott, trust me. Come on.
So Barnabas and the gang encourage Scott and he eventually gets sucked right on into the portal.
Too late!
They all wind up on the other side of the Stargate in the middle of a jungle, aside from Scott, who is in a prison, but it's an alternate reality of Mike's backyard. And he's with Jay, Nick's little brother. But it seems like the jungle that they're in is not too far off anyway. Caitlin points out that in each window there is a different intergalactic being that's being held captive. Some of which look awfully familiar to Mike.
History of peaceful cooperation.
They're just like in your story, Mike. How did you know?
Yeah, Mike, how did you know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. The gang finds the duplicate backyard, only to find Scott complaining, so much so to Jay that he's not paying attention and seeing that they're at the window. And then the Thode shows up.
My specimens need my care and protection.
Trying to rationalize with them that it's an exhibit and not a prison. But then he tries to pull this shit. holy shit, I did not know that Gene Simmons was a Thode. And then he turns into this weird reptile thing.
I know you're in here!
Nick and Caitlin drop a cage on the Thode, steal the key, and then try to get out of there as fast as possible. That is until Mike tries to save one of his creations.
There's gotta be a place for this key.
Maybe the cage is open from the back.
Mike realized that he knows how to use the key because it's a part of the story that he created.
I know how this works.
He frees his buddy and goes to unlock the cage for the backyard to save Scott and Jay. They all get back through the Stargate portal, but the Thode has already made it into the tunnel before they could close it.
I'd better contact the police. Come on.
What's wrong?
The line is busy.
He must have AT&T. But yeah, the Thode comes out and tries to suck Mike into the Stargate, but Barnabas realized that he's a dog and could just bark.
Barnabas, help us!
Which slows him down a little bit. The Intergalactic police show up and grab the Thode.
All right, Thode, hold it right there. Come where I can see it. I got hundreds of wars against you, buddy. Come on.
And the gang is all friends now, including Scott.
Mike.
Flash forward to the next football game. Barnabas comes by to let Mike know that he's off scot-free in the Galactic Council.
And Earth is classified again as a protected planet under Federation statutes.
That's a relief. I guess the world is saved.
And the Thode has been sentenced to serve 2 eons in a Federation penitentiary.
So he offers Mike one last chance to leave Earth, but Mike realizes that he has enough and that he does have a place on Earth. Jumps into the game and Mike gets a touchdown and saves the... No. He gets his ass clobbered. But this time, Mike and Scott may have actually learned something.
Pillsbury, why do you stay on the team?
You know what, believe it or not, Schreibner, it's where I belong.
About being on a team and maybe being good friends. I will say, forewarning, if you're about to watch this movie on Disney Plus, it is not for the easily disgusted. Let's just say, after forcing my fiance to watch this movie, I don't get to touch the remote for like 3 days. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. That's all from me, guys. If you like this video, hit subscribe. Let me know what your favorite retro Disney movie is in the comments down below. Click here for my last video. Click here for a video that YouTube recommends. Peace out.